Well, the hot weather's over. We've had a day of rain and now we're enjoying a rather pleasant breeze. So I've popped back down on Saturday afternoon to do a little bit of harvesting. Enough of the hard work, it's time to reap some of the rewards. Well, it's becoming a little bit of a daily chore now removing cucumbers, but removed they've got to be. And we're looking at two of the FemSpot cucumbers, and you can see that we've got a nice one there that's probably going to be ready in a day. One at the side, maybe in 2 or 3 days, and then over here on the right we've got a lovely big one, if you can just see it there, and two to the right of that as well. I think I'm going to take the one just here in front of us, because if I leave that any longer then it'll be too big and may start and yellow a little. There we go. Perfect. It's got nice colour and just the right size. And if we turn round, we've got a burpless on the left, and we've got a really nice big cucumber there. That really needs to come off, otherwise it'll just be too big. And we've also got a lovely FemSpot down here, so I'm going to take these two off as well. That's the FemSpot. And that's the burpless. And if we look at the Piccolino, dwarf or mini cucumbers, you'll see that they're hanging like grapes still, notwithstanding the fact that we've taken about 40 of these off. And we've got probably 5 or 6 here. You can see them. I just move these out of the way. About 7 here, and they're all a decent size, a size that you should be taking them really. A jumbo one just here, more higher up the plants, and then a couple of large ones just here. So I need to take 4 or 5 of these off as well. There's one. Two. 3. 4. 5. 6. I think that should do for the time being, and I'm going to go and put these on what I'll call the harvest bench now. Sadly, I won't be able to harvest this one just yet. I think this will be 2 or 3 weeks maybe. As I mentioned in the last update, it's about £1.25, maybe £1.50 in weight already, but that promises to be a really nice one. We do have quite a few cherries that are on the brink of ripening, and they're the sun gold as usual. They're about a week early this year, I think, because of all the nice weather that we've had. So no tomatoes yet, but watch this space. It shouldn't be very long, maybe a week, 10 days at the outside. Well, the Shiraz mangetout has proven to be a really prolific mangetout pea variety, and I've picked about 4 punnets already, and as you can see it's completely covered. They're a beautiful purple pod. They don't lose the colour after cooking, unlike some of the French beans do, so the pigmentation stays in there, and they're quite a tender and sweet pea, so I could highly recommend them. But as I say, they're growing every day, so I need to take off the big ones now. And they've got a really nice colour, if you can see. And there really are lots of them. And as you can see, even though I've just picked a punnet, the plants are still absolutely covered. This was a flat bottom drill that was sown, about 1 foot wide and about 5 foot long, and as you can see, I'm not exaggerating, masses of the things, absolutely masses. And I bought these from Mole Seeds, and I think I bought 250 grams, and they might have cost about £6 or £7 or something like that. And this probably represents about 1/6 of what were in the packet, 1/6 of the seeds. So rather a good investment, I think. These are the Jaguar pea, and I sowed 3 flat bottom drills of these, 12 foot long and about 18-inch wide. This is the first one, and I didn't think that they'd be ready until the middle of next week, but I've just taken the pod off, and as you can see, they're ready. And this first drill is absolutely covered with pods, so I need to take some off now. If I don't, then we'll end up with a couple of bucketfuls and there'll just be too many to eat. I do share the surplus with neighbouring paddock owners and neighbouring allotment holders, but it's nice to eat the majority of your own produce. So with that in mind, I'm going to take some now. I won't bore you with me just picking them all off because it'll take forever, but I'll just show you what I've picked. When these are finished, to the left of me I've got a second drill and then a third drill, and they're not as advanced, so hopefully the pea season should last for maybe 4 or 5 weeks. Well, there weren't quite as many peas as I thought that were ready. I got a little bit overexcited, but there's still enough to have a first taste, and they can be mixed in along with the mangetout at lunch tomorrow. And as if we didn't have enough mangetout, the second variety that we have, the Caroubi de Morson, they're also ready to take as well. Really nice and clean, these. The peas are showing a little bit of shading on the outer skins. The hot weather's really not helped, but these do seem to have performed quite well. So I'm going to take a handful or so of these off as well. So we'll have a palette of colour tomorrow in the mangetout section on the plate. So I'll take some of these off as well. Well, that's another punnet. These are the Caroubi de Morson, and these are a lovely mangetout. They're a pale green but beautiful and clean, and that must make about the 6th or 7th punnet this season, and the plants are showing no signs of stopping producing. Still lots of flowers on them, and yet again a really good investment. And while we're at it, we might as well just take up the last of the purple top Milan turnip. As you can see in the foreground here, they're starting to go to seed, and that's because of the extreme weather. It's been really hot, and even though I've watered them a few times recently, it's not enough really, so we're up the need to come. And that's not bad for a first one, is it? About 5 inch in diameter, beautiful colour, a meal on its own I think. And a few more nice ones. You can see in the centre there that I've actually taken the top out of that one because it's gone to seed, and you'll find that if they have gone to seed and you come to twist the tops off, if the turnip is past it and hollow down in the middle because it's gone to seed, you'll know when you come to twist them off, because it's really difficult to snap the central part of the top. So that's quite a good indicator, and you saw me do that with one of them down in this corner. I twisted it, almost impossible to take the top off, so I just slung the turnip onto the ground. I won't use that one. And I think these 4 here will more than do. That's it for the purple top Milan. I do have some more multi-sown purple top Milan in modules, and hopefully that'll be planted out in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Well, the heavens just opened up as I finished taking the turnips up, so I dashed back inside the greenhouse and decided to pick a little bit of rainbow chard. So I've done that. We've got some yellow, red, white and cream foliage and stems, so we've got a bag of that now as well. We also needed some lettuce for tea, so I've got 3 trays of fresh lettuce at the back here. I've got an old tray of Symphony Frilly red lettuce, so I've taken some of that. That's on its last legs now, so I've taken a handful of that and then trimmed a little bit of the mixed oriental and a little bit of the red and green. Before I finish today, I want to do a quick potato reveal. It may have to be an abridged reveal because, as you can see, looking at the horizon, there's some really heavy cloud coming over, really dark, so I need to get on with that quickly. And we're just about ready to go. You can see I've got 6 plants left. I did have about 13, and when they were all bunched together they offered each other a little bit of collective support. But as I've taken them out, you can see they've started to flail around a little bit. The wind's hammered them as well, and they're all a little bit dry despite quite a bit of watering. So these are all going to be revealed, if you will, over the next week or so, and then we'll be starting on the 2 beds on the 4th plot with the second earlies there. These are a mixture of Kestrel and Charlotte. So I've got 2 pots here. I'm going to take the tops off, get the tripod set up, and then we'll see how we fare. So off with the tops. And then upend it. And I can see already that this is a pot of Kestrel. You can see from the telltale purple patches. It's a nice one, isn't it, that one? And we'll put these in this little pot to the side here so they don't get mixed up. And you can see there's a few more around the side here. And there's some nice ones. Really big ones. The kestrel potato do have a habit of forming rather large tubers, and when they've been planted in the ground in the past, we have had occasionally just one or two really massive potatoes under each root, but in the pots they're just about the right size, and they're really clean as well. Just going like that with my finger is taking the skin off. Another large one. And another one. And another one. That's a little bit green, that one. This is a really good reveal, I think, for the kestrel. There were 2 seed potatoes in this pot. Solid seed potato there. That's the second seed potato. And I think there aren't, typically, as I just mentioned, there aren't that many potatoes in here, but there's still a fair weight, I think. And you'll be disappointed to learn I've not brought my digital scales with me. But yeah, I think that's it. But we've got some really nice potatoes there. About 10 really nice ones. And that has to weigh probably 150 to 200 grams. So I would think there's about easily 3.5 pounds worth in there. So all I'll do now is I'll run these under the tap and they'll be nice and clean. And now for the second pot, and I'm not certain whether this is a kestrel or a charlotte, because I didn't, as I mentioned in a previous reveal, I don't tend to mark my potatoes, so it's always a nice surprise. Some might call it disorganised. Both tranches of potted potatoes were sown or planted in the middle, the 2nd and 3rd week of March, so they're all at least 3 months old now. The older, or rather the first planted potatoes will be about 14 weeks. So we'll see what this one is. And this one, I believe, is another kestrel. Get the pot again. There we go. Purple spots again. And look at these. These are beauties, aren't they? Really, really clean. Not a mark on them, just a little bit of... I'm loath to even wipe the dirt off, because you can see it's taking the fine skin off. And just straight away, 4 beautiful potatoes. But you can see the compost is quite dry, and I have watered them almost every day. I can't say hand on heart that I've done it every day, but most days. A few little ones. A few nice size ones. More large ones. That one's started to rot a little bit, so that can go over the fence. I won't tell anyone if you don't. Seed potato again. I think that's about it. A few tiny ones. Yeah, I think that's it. And there are the potatoes. And I would say there's comfortably £6 there. It's quite heavy. Yeah, I would say about £6. I might weigh them later when I get home, but I'm reasonably confident there that we've had maybe two lots of £3. Might be bordering on 7, but we'll say 6. But the beautiful potatoes. Well, as the saying goes, that's all folks, that's just about it. I've harvested everything that I need to today, and I don't think we've done too badly. We've got the potatoes, they've been washed now, and as you can see they look really, really lovely. They're all a decent size. Put them in my hand so you get some sense of scale. All nice and clean as well, and they're all a decent size. As I say, about £6, possibly £7 there. The Shiraz Purple mangetout, the first pick of peas, 6 mini cucumbers, although I say mini, they're not that tiny, are they? So they're a good size. And then 3 large cucumbers, 6 purple top Milan turnips, some green mangetout, a couple of bags of mixed lettuce and chard, and then I also, for good measure, took a handful of ready purple spring onions. So that's the harvest for today, Saturday. And here we are, all bagged up and ready to go. Have a great weekend. Take care. All the best.